Hello, my darling co-creators. This is Wieteke from Design for Awareness, and I'm here with Peter Gersten, my dear friend, whom I've been assisting during radiation. And we are making a three-part video series on YouTube, sharing the benefits we had in this video. We're sharing the benefits we had from using organic food and natural supplements to assist him throughout the radiation. And yeah, we just really want to share our story, and this video will be on nutrition. We have a video on skin, how we use natural supplements to take care of your skin. And we are going to make a video on how he took care of his mouth, because you had a type of cancer that really concerns this area, isn't that right, Peter?
I had neck and mouth cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was first diagnosed with the cancer in January of 2012. They found a lump on the side of my neck and they removed it through surgery. And they couldn't find any other signs of the cancer through PET scans, but unfortunately in the early part of 2014 I found that I had additional lumps in the side of my neck.
And did you decide anything according to your nutrition at the time, when you heard for the second time that you had that the cancer had returned?
Yeah, unfortunately I didn't change my lifestyle in 2012 after they removed the lump from my neck, and I continued to eat junk food and processed food and sugar. And it wasn't until they discovered the additional lumps in 2014 and I decided that that I needed to do something. And of course I changed my life. Unfortunately it was a little too late. It was like after the horse left the barn. But hopefully it's never too late, and hopefully I will be much healthier in the future.
Yeah, so you started changing your lifestyle around even before radiation started, right?
Yes, I did. I went to an all-organic diet. I gave up sugar, of course. I gave up dairy products, I gave up glucose, and of course I gave up processed foods and processed meat, and meat of all kinds, actually.
And you switched to a fully organic diet.
Yes, I did.
So practically, well, actually fully vegan, no dairy, all of that.
Yeah, I wanted to prepare my body to be in the best possible condition to get through the side effects from the radiation. And this type of radiation can have severe influence on your throat and your ability to eat. So you prepared yourself for that as well, didn't you? Yes, I did some research and I spoke to some present patients and former patients who went through the same type of radiation, who had the same type of cancer. And I knew that the side effects involved eating, dry mouth, salivary gland, destruction, so to speak. So I decided to get a feeding tube, a bolus feeding tube inserted in my stomach, so I can use that as an alternative remedy if I couldn't eat, I couldn't swallow.
Right. So you had the feeding tube placed before radiation also?
Yes, that was the recommendation, that I do it beforehand. And the hospital didn't even recommend that I get a feeding tube. It said that's discretionary. Some people wait till they're in the middle of radiation when they can't swallow anymore and they get the feeding tube, and that seems it's a little too late, because then they have to deal with the side effects of the feeding tube insertion for at least 3 or 4 days, and it's difficult when you have side effects of the radiation also. So I decided to do it, and I got it done 3 days before the radiation. It was a good thing that I did, because the pain and the ache involved lasted for about 3 days, and for a few days into the radiation also. So it was a lifesaver that I got it, and I started to use it within 2 weeks of the radiation.
Yeah. Was it something that you could easily get used to at some point, when the pain ceased and now you still have the feeding tube? Right now we are 3 weeks, actually almost 4 weeks. You're out of radiation. Your last treatment was almost 4 weeks ago. So you still use the feeding tube. Was it something that you could easily get used to? Was it easy to start to use it?
Well, I went through 35 radiation treatments on a daily basis for about 8 weeks, and you get used to it after about 2 weeks of having it. I didn't start until I guess the 3rd week of actually using it, because it started to become difficult to swallow, especially with food. So I decided to use the tube for my food, and I would be able to just swallow in general, to keep up the ability to swallow, because if you lose the ability to swallow, it's hard to get back after the radiation. So I got used to it, I guess in the third week, and hardly noticed it. And then, you know, when you came over and made it a little easier with coming up with a feeding tube holder and things like that I could wear, and a feeding tube, I guess self-feeder, you might want to call it, that you created on the cabinet, it made it easy to deal with feeding, yes.
So you started using the tube by the end of the second week, beginning of the third week.
That's correct.
Because your throat was getting, well, too bad to simply swallow all the normal food that you usually need per day. But you were used to an organic diet by then, and you told me you felt pretty good because of that diet?
Yeah, I felt a lot better. I had more energy, more stamina. I lost a few pounds under the diet, but that could be expected, especially when I was eating all that junk.
Yeah.
So it was lighted. You know, I do a lot of hiking. I take people to the top of Bell Rock in Sedona, Arizona, where I live. So yeah, I definitely felt better.
But then you had to start using the tube, so a big change in your diet all of a sudden. What did the doctors tell you should eat from that moment on?
Well, when I told them I was going to, you know, eat through the tube, they said, okay, we'll take care of it. And about a week later, I received this formula delivered to my door, and it was 100% covered by insurance, so I didn't argue with it. I didn't know any better. I thought, this is what everybody uses, I'm going to use. And it's similar to you can see it here, it's similar to what you can buy in any store, such as Boost or Ensure. It probably has the same chemicals. You know, when I received it, I looked at the ingredients, and 3/4 of the ingredients, I had no idea what they were.
Oh, God.
Excuse us, you know.
Mobile age.
It's probably a corporation going to complain about
this video.
product.
Yeah?
I think it's Nestle's that makes this.
Oh.
But in any event, I couldn't even understand.
I don't know about that.
I think it is, actually.
Oh, who knows?
Abbott. But in any event, I couldn't understand 3/4 of the ingredients. And even when I went online to look what they were, I still couldn't understand it. So, but I didn't know any better. I didn't even know to look on the internet to see if there was an alternative. So I started to take 5 of these cans a day. And in the beginning, I felt a little strange taking this. I went from an organic diet of solid food to an inorganic, artificial formula of through the tube of liquid. And it's pretty liquid, loose. You just put it in the tube. You didn't even have to plunge it. You can just hold it up. Gravity would take it right through. So I use this for when you arrived, I was using this, wasn't I? For a couple of days, so this is what I used.
It's been, like you said, you were in 7 weeks of radiation, or 7.5, about 8 weeks
altogether.
All the midweek days and the weekends, no radiation, but still side effects, by the way. And when I came in, he was halfway through with his treatments, and indeed he was on several, like 5 cans of these per day. Now, I think that the fact that something like this exists is of course really great, because if you get an accident, for instance, something urgent, and you can't swallow for a little while, this is what they give you in the hospital. I'm supposing this is the standard thing you get. Of course, this is a lifesaver, but in cases of throat radiation that can last weeks and weeks and weeks, and the side effects can even continue to last for months afterwards. Some people have to, they just simply have this as their main source of nutrition and their only source of nutrition for months. And if it's in a situation like that, it would be really nice if you could eat something that is actually beneficial to your health and not a challenge to your immune system, as this actually is. Most of the ingredients you shared with me also you didn't understand, and as most people know, I think in ingredient lists Whatever it says in the ingredient list, it goes from highest quantity to lower. So the highest quantity, whatever is in here, is water. And then the second is already corn syrup solids. And then there's sodium and calcium caseinates. And then the fourth is corn maltodextrin. And all kinds of oils. And then there is sugar, actual sugar. Well, if you're into health food and you know a little bit about cancer and tumors thriving on sugar, I think you would be as surprised as I was to see that this is what they give to people that are being treated for cancer. So treating on the one hand, radiation is tough enough for your immune system as it is, I would say, and then you would need something, especially if it's long term, that really supports you through that whole process, getting better, healing yourself. So I started looking online for an alternative for this, and it was pretty hard to find, but eventually, after stubbornly keeping on searching the web, I found a liquid alternative. So a liquid, all organic whole foods formula that can be used by people that have a feeding tube. Just to make sure we are not making commercial or pushing any products, we're not being paid to make this video. We were just so happy to have discovered this alternative for the standard formula, that we really wanted to share this with the world and all other people that for whatever reason are stuck to a feeding tube. So Peter, can you tell us some more about what changed for you when we started using this alternative?
Well, this is Liquid Hope, and there'll be a link at the bottom of the video. Mm-hmm. This replaced the 5 cans of the artificial formula, mm-hmm. and I started taking this 5 times a day.
Was it in the same way, calorie and protein sufficient?
Well, I guess it had the same number of calories. It was about 450 calories.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Liquid Hope. But if you look at the ingredients, there is nothing you don't understand. Whether it's organic ginger, or organic green peas, or organic turmeric, which we will discuss soon. It was an amazing blend that Wieteke found of organic foods, mm-hmm. that were put together in a formula. It was put together by this woman who created this, mm-hmm. Robin, for her dad, who couldn't tolerate the artificial formula, so she developed her own formula, and then she decided to distribute it, and it was a lifesaver. One of the side effects of radiation of the neck and throat and mouth is fatigue. I never experienced fatigue. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever eaten as healthy as I did through the tube while I was taking this. This is all organic, all vegetables, all
almond butter,
herbs,
sprouted quinoa.
It's amazing, this stuff.
Yeah.
And it even tells you nutritionally complete, mm-hmm. real food, corn-free, soy-free, no gluten. It was the perfect formula. It changed my life. Under the artificial, I don't know how long I could have kept on hiking, and I kept on hiking during the 7-8 weeks of radiation treatment. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel fatigue one day. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to take any naps. I didn't have to take any painkillers. Mm-hmm. And they had already given me codeine and morphine to take in case I felt pain. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I had to pay for that in advance, and I didn't even use it. And I'm happy about that. If there was one thing that Wieteke, contributed to my health and keeping my immune system in optimum condition, it was this formula. This was a lifesaver, and I would recommend this. I approve of this. I would promote this if they did have some way that this can get to every cancer center in the United States. If this can be covered by insurance, that's the difficult part, but it's worth it. Even if you have to, take out a loan, this will keep you in optimum health if you have to undergo radiation treatment and use a tube. And actually, you can eat this without a tube.
Yeah, that's a big difference as well. We noticed, of course, I was helping him with the feedings, and this, if you cut it open and you smell it, and I would eat it straight from the package. It smells like a mix between maybe lentil and pumpkin soup. It's actually quite nice. And the other one smells more like vanilla, plasticky, kind of like a dessert for little children or something, but very chemical. So even the smell is different. The texture is very different too, by the way. So. And
it's interesting, with the other can, we don't want to keep on showing it.
No.
The can, I could feed myself. You just pour it into the tube and let it go in. On this you would need help because it was so thick, so rich, so hearty. If you put it in the tube, and we diluted it somewhat with coconut water, and we put some supplements.
That's how, we would mix the supplements. Most of them are powders anyway. We would break up the capsules and mix them into the mix, which is actually, it was really good. You had everything in your meals right away.
But we put the formula in, and you hold it up, you hope gravity, it doesn't move. It's that thick, doesn't move. So we took the plunger, because you put it in the syringe, the syringe goes into the tube. We had to use the plunger,
for this,
so it was difficult for me to do it because I had a long tube. So she constructed this apparatus that I could put on the cabinet and actually held the tube. But that's what I would do once in a while if nobody was around. But most of the time, Wieteke was around, so she would help me. But it was great.
Yeah.
I got more energy. It was amazing. I was feeling good again.
Yeah.
And I can't stress enough the importance of this type of food if you are in a position to eat this. Now, we're not saying you shouldn't have the other food if that's all you can have. The insurance company pays for it, but by some chance you
if you have the choice, if you can make this
Definitely.
decision, it's really worth it. It's an enormous gift to yourself. So that was the main nutrition. You found yourself back into an organic diet. Also, I'm happy to see that, by the way, now you can do the plunger yourself. So it's not something that is impossible to do on yourself or by yourself. The food can be liquid or made liquid, thinned down enough. It can be thinned down enough to use the plunger and use it by yourself. So first Peter needed some help, but you can do it alone now, right, without the apparatus. Right? Yeah, I'm happy we discovered that. I don't want to give people the impression that they need a machine to use this, because you don't.
Yeah.
So you can perfectly well use this on your own. Next to your feeding tube meals, you needed to keep on swallowing. This was really important. The doctor stressed it a lot. And maybe you can share with our viewers why it's so important to eat at least a few bites of actual food during the day.
Well, another side effect is you have such a sore throat, and your mouth is dry, and your salivary glands are affected by the radiation. It doesn't create saliva, and you get sores, or at least an aching mouth. And you can't eat. You don't want to eat. Food tastes like metallic. You don't want to swallow. But you need to swallow. You need to somehow get food down, because if you lose the swallowing reflex, it's going to be difficult to get back after the radiation treatment, so you have to swallow. So Wieteke made a combination of different ingredients for breakfast after my first feeding of the formula that I would take every morning. And because of the taste, it wasn't the best tasting, but I knew I had to take it, and it was a combination of something that I could take without really chewing it, that I could swallow, and it was healthy. So a combination of the formula and that breakfast was really a benefit to me.
Yeah, and I remember when I came in, you had some issues with your intestines, and of course he was on the artificial formula at the time. And so even before we discovered the whole foods formula, I started inventing breakfast, because I thought you need to have some fiber at least, and you really needed that to keep your intestines moving as well. So something that you could eat really well was chia seeds. So this was really the main ingredient of the breakfast, and I'll show you what they look like. So these are chia seeds, You can find any organic brand online. It's often cheaper, or in a Whole Foods store. And what I would do, I would just soak them in almond milk or any other vegan milk alternative, so dairy-free milk. And what happens with the chia seeds when you put them in any liquid, they kind of plump up and turn into some kind of jelly. So this is, you could make it a lot thinner than this, by the way, but they have really plumped up during our preparations for this video. And this just slides down the throat. It's an incredible source of omega fatties and protein, and a great source of fiber. So yeah, it was hard to find stuff that Peter would really enjoy. Even if I would sweeten this with stevia, for instance, the radiation simply affects your taste buds. So if you're taking care of somebody who is going through radiation of the throat and mouth, yeah, it's just something you have to live with during the radiation. That, yeah, for you it was way harder than for me, but yeah, it was a challenge sometimes to look for stuff that you would want to eat. But you did, and I think that's really, really amazing that you kept on at least eating the breakfast every day, also for the fiber. And as he said already, you did really, really good. No fatigue, no issues with your stomach, everything went really well.
And every once in a while I would try to, you would prepare, whether it's eggs and avocado, soft food, soup, something that I could soup, different things. So it's important to continue to eat as much as you can, as long as you can.
And as clean as you can.
Yeah, along with the formulas that you're taking. Yeah. But the formula alone, you know, was sufficient.
Would be sufficient.
But
it's for the muscles of the throat, to keep them active and not lose the ability to swallow. Yeah.
But I just didn't take the formula. Wieteke made sure that there were supplements in the formula that I would also need to stay healthy and keep my immune system in proper working condition so that I could fight off. I was never sick.
Not even a cough, a flu, nothing. He was some days I was more tired than he was.
Yeah, I had no problem with my sinuses.
Who's having the radiation?
I was worried that I would catch a cold, I couldn't breathe, and I have to go under radiation. And they were amazed at the hospital that I had so much energy. Would I come in each day and just say, okay, let's do it, and then leave next day. And it was really amazing. My side effects were kept at a minimum. Yeah. And we managed them even, you know, as best we could. And I only needed about 7 hours sleep a night. Like I said, I was hiking. It's really incredible. And I can't say that my condition going in, I was in good physical condition for my age. I'm 72 years of age. But I wouldn't have been in as good a condition after the radiation as I was and I am now, and it's been about 4 weeks, and I'm almost, you know, back to 100% except for my salivary glands.
And even eating again.
Eating again.
50% solids, back to solid foods.
And I'm down to what, 3 formulas a day now, and I'm hoping to get my feeding tube out in a couple of weeks. So it's really miraculous how all these things that Wieteke brought with her, from the information, the knowledge, and the wisdom on nutrition that she had. She was the perfect person to come over. Just a little background. We're friends from over a year. We would speak on Skype, and I knew she was in nutrition, and when this cancer problem came up, we talked about it, and she freed up herself to come here for about 6 weeks. She was having a great life in Amsterdam, and she came over just to help me for these 6 weeks. So, and she not only helped me, she increased my lifestyle, and during the radiation, my quality of life was much better. It's just too bad I was doing radiation because I was eating the healthiest, I had the most energy, but it was the radiation treatments that we had and the side effects that we had to manage, and we did very well. And I can only attribute that to the formula, to the supplements, to her vibration that was there. It was amazing.
Thank you so much. Well, let's get to those supplements.
Okay, let's do it.
What have we been using? You started pretty early, even before radiation began. We had Skype talks on what can we do right now, hands-on policy, because he told me he was going into radiation. So first all the systems went online, and right away you started using curcumin. And this is what the tablets look like. They're incredibly yellow. There's yellow powder in here. You may know it under the name of turmeric. It's a kitchen herb, basically, but the active ingredient in turmeric is curcumin, or it's one of the active ingredients. And this one has proven itself in so many scientific researches supporting either in radiation or chemo, lowering the side effects of these treatments so incredibly that I was reading about this and it just kept returning on my path, and I said, Peter, you gotta try this, at least this. And you also heard from a lot of friends, curcumin, start taking it, right?
Well, I did some research online. I looked at websites, I looked at videos, I spoke to some people.
Yeah.
And the most popular product
as alternative cancer
matter of fact,
supplement?
this was something that's supposed to have anti-cancer properties in it, but I had cancer already, and I needed something to help me with the side effects, and I figured anything that could be against cancer, prevent cancer, cure cancer, that's the reputation it had, this one herb I would try. So I started using, I bought turmeric. Raw turmeric?
Yeah, we used both. Turmeric has proven itself, especially in your type of radiation, to really protect the mouth and the how do you say, the environment of the mouth. You never had any fungi or infections or blisters or sores in the mouth?
No, I never had any sores.
No problems with your gums?
And it's interesting because in the first week, I had a sore in my mouth. It felt one of the gums, and I said, oh no, now it's going to go, now I'm going to have this for 7 weeks, and it's getting worse. Within 3 days, it healed itself, and I was very happy about.
Yeah.
I started using raw turmeric just to drink. A friend of mine said, drink it like wine, and I would take that. I would juice it, and then I would drink it, and as a matter of fact, when radiation started, I would take it with me
to the radiation
and gargle with it, and then swallow right after the radiation. And then I was told that, well, it doesn't, raw turmeric doesn't have the principal ingredient to the quantity I would need during the radiation. So I bought the curcumin capsules, 500 milligrams, and I took 2,000 milligrams a day during the radiation. And I'm still going to take that every day. I still take it now, and I would think that's the #1 supplement that I would do, and I am doing, and I would suggest for others to do. It can't hurt.
Yeah. It keeps up your immune, it fights off bacteria, infections, it has a whole long list of incredible properties to it. Even doctors connected to the American Cancer Center have been researching on it. You can Google it and find your own results. And if this doesn't resonate with you, of course you don't have to use it, we're just sharing what worked for us. So curcumin, that's #1, and #2, right now we are also using graviola. The fruit you see in the background is the soursop fruit. Graviola is the name of the plant, or the tree actually, and these capsules exist of just the leaves and the stem. So different parts of the graviola tree have different healing features. And especially the leaves and the stem have proven themselves very effective in supporting through cancer healing, whether it's chemo or radiation. Again, you can use this, read into it. And whenever you're buying supplements, this goes for both the graviola as well as the curcumin. Try to find them of organic quality and with as little additives as possible. They are out there. You just look wherever you're going to buy them. Read the label. And if it says, for instance, on this brand, we're not making commercials, so I'm not telling you the brand necessarily, but the ingredients of this is just graviola leaf, 1,300 milligrams per serving, and it's like 2 tablets. This one of curcumin, I never heard of any negative side effects of curcumin. If you have though, be careful, because Mother Nature is an incredible, powerful healer, but also herbs can have side effects, and you might be that one person that is allergic to curcumin. So always when you start using alternative medicine, try one, see what it does to you, and then, you know, if there's no problem, which is for most of the people, then you can just take it. Graviola, on the other hand, does have a side effect, a pretty strong one, I would say. It lowers your blood pressure. Now, if you have high blood pressure, like Peter, that is awesome. But if you have low blood pressure by nature, this is not for you. Then again, it's just so read yourself into the topics before you take anything. It worked for you, right? So your blood pressure has been pretty good. We've been doing another alternative thing for that.
Yep.
And in general, if you have cancer or healing from cancer, you want to really alkalize your body, which means stay away from sugar and all acidic foods. If you're new to that term, alkalizing your body, you can just also Google it, read into it, and you can find these alkalizing food charts online that you can just print out for yourself, put them on the fridge, and try to eat more alkaline. The good thing about this is that scientific research has proven that tumors have a harder time surviving in an alkaline environment. So if your body is more alkaline, the tumors have less chance of surviving in it. So that's what we've been doing. And a really efficient, cheap home remedy to do so is to start using apple cider vinegar. And Peter has been taking this twice daily, pretty much also since the beginning of your radiation. A glass of lukewarm water with 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar per day is sufficient. And if you want to turn that into also a blood pressure lowering home remedy medicine, you just add say 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda to that. And both sodium bicarbonate, that's the official name of baking soda, and apple cider vinegar have proven incredible supportive products during healing from any kind of cancer. You may want to do research on that as well. So if you buy this, again, organic, go organic if you can. And try to find the raw, unfiltered one. It's a cloudy apple cider vinegar, so it's not the transparent see-through yellow version from the normal supermarkets.
Okay, is it 2 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons?
2 tablespoons.
Those are the bigger ones.
Yeah, the bigger ones.
Oh, I've been using 2 teaspoons.
Okay. Great commercial. And even though he was using less,
right,
this is how
worked.
he's doing. So, probably because of all the other stuff we've been doing.
I think so.
So well, you can up that if you want to. So
no,
you know.
I have to.
You may want to take that slow. By the way, he started with 1 teaspoon.
I think so.
Yeah, and then upped it to 2 at some point. So yes, the apple cider vinegar, another one that you've been using a lot, turned into your favorites.
Oh yes.
you can share this if you like.
Oh yes. Coconut oil.
Da-da-da-da.
That is a lifesaver. A lot of lifesavers.
Why?
I have many lives.
Why is coconut oil a lifesaver?
Well, you're gonna have to tell them that. I don't.
No, you tell your experience.
Well, sore throats, dry mouth. Here, I have a bottle that I keep in my room, a jar that I keep in my room, and I eat this like candy.
Well, not in the beginning.
Not in the beginning. I didn't even like it in the beginning. And she says, you got to take this. It's like great. It's for everything. It's for cooking. It's for eating. It's for rubbing on your skin. It's an amazing product. It really is. And
you can use it for anything.
You develop a taste to it.
Yeah.
I have a dry mouth. My salivary glands have not returned yet. Everything else is getting better. My throat, my mouth is getting better, except for my saliva glands, and I don't have saliva, so I have dry mouth, and it's difficult to eat, talk. I eat this, and it's not bad. It tastes good, and it helps my throat first thing in the morning, last thing at night, during the day, after meals. Whenever I feel dry, I just take some. I even carry a smaller bottle with me when I hike to eat, and it's great. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the number one reason why I would promote it really is just because you want to get it fresh, pressed virgin or cold pressed virgin. That's what they call it. So the smell is also still there. If coconut oil has been processed a little, there is scent-free coconut oils that you can buy, but they're not the raw original thing. So this one is, and there are many brands out there. You can just look for yourself which one you think is compatible to your budget. And if you make this your main oil for baking and frying and all of those things as well, you're doing a great thing, because this is almost the only oil out there that doesn't turn into trans fats when it's being heated up. It can be heated up to temperatures above 200 Celsius. Now we have a little calculation issue probably maybe here, because I'm from Europe and you're in Fahrenheit. I'll look this up for you and put it in links below. Or you can look it up for yourself, even better, and read about oils turning into trans fats when you heat them up. And coconut oil doesn't do that. It just, for the longest time possible, it stays a positive fat for your body, one that helps you burn the negative fats. Yes, you heard that right. This oil helps you burn fat and lowers your cholesterol, and it's anti-inflammation. You can use it for oil pulling, which is a detoxing technique. You can Google on that if you're interested in that. So I think we almost covered all our supplements.
Well, you got a couple that you use within the formula.
Yeah, so we used into the formula, we put the curcumin, the graviola. We always added, by the way, a little bit of olive oil, like not even half a teaspoon, but a little bit of olive oil into the formula, because curcumin can be better absorbed by your body when there is oil in the same meal that you're having the curcumin with. So, and since the capsules are just powder, you have to add this oil yourself. So this can be coconut oil as well. But we used the olive oil because it would go down the tube, exactly. We also added bioavailable vitamin C and D. This was our personal choice. You can of course look for your own extra vitamin C and D. These are two vitamins that you will really need extra of when you're trying to heal or fight any kind of disease. So this is such a good thing for your body. As bioavailable vitamin C, we used acerola berry powder, but you can also find camu camu, that's more affordable. You write it C-A-M-U powder, and there are many more out there. If you just Google bioavailable vitamin C powder, you'll find alternatives. By the way, for who doesn't know this, bioavailable means it's directly from a plant source, all organic, fully natural. And the good thing about that compared to a chemical derived vitamin is that your body will recognize it. As soon as you take it in, your body will be like, oh, hey, I know this, I'm alive, you were a living thing, let's work together. So that's the idea of bioavailability. And as for D, you used cod liver oil, something liquid again, so easy to put into the formula. We just mixed everything in down the tube, so you didn't have to deal with the flavor of that either. So
and I'll continue to use the Maca and the vitamin C.
We haven't even mentioned this yet, but yes,
liver oil.
In the morning he would also use some Maca, and this is one example of a Maca brand.
Have to, even if I'm not taking the formula, you know, once I stop with the formula, I'm still going to use these products.
Yeah.
What's the best way to use maca and vitamin C? Just place them in water or?
Smoothies.
Smoothies.
Yeah,
Smoothies.
Delicious. Yeah, maca even has a nice flavor. It's a bit nutty. It's nice in any banana smoothie, or so you can make yourself one smoothie a day anywhere. Well, actually, anywhere. Depends how sensitive you are to maca. Again, Mother Nature also knows her side effects. Maca, you may not want to use this if you've had any thyroid problems in the past or if you're very sensitive to caffeine. So read yourself into the subject again. But you didn't have that problem. What it does for you, if you're fine with it, if your body responds to it perfectly well, it helps you maintain your weight and your physique strength. So it definitely did that for you. You stopped losing weight very quickly actually, and then maintained around the same weight. Even though you can definitely use some more still now, but you're just 4 weeks out of radiation and starting to eat again already. So yeah.
Yeah, hopefully I'll get back the weight I lost. I lost about 15 pounds in the transition between solid food. And actually I was losing weight even before I started the radiation.
In the transition to organic, which is not so weird if you switch to vegan, vegetarian.
And so I'll gain it back now that I'm eating solid food again.
Yeah.
Organic.
Yeah.
Solid food.
Yay. Yeah. And so these were our supplements really. And as a last thing to add to the whole nutrition story that might be interesting, both chemo and radiation, in this case he was just using radiation, but both of them leave a lot of toxins in your system, in your body. So after you're done with your treatment, you may want to consider detoxification. And Peter started to detox right after he quit with his radiation using zeolite, clay. This is a clay powder. And you can Google on that. It's a very strong detoxer to remove heavy metals from the body. And this is what radiation is, how it is being remembered by your system as a heavy metal. So you want to really focus on detoxification supplements that help remove heavy metals. So zeolite is what he's using. And cilantro is an incredible other supplement that you can use for that. We are using a liquid version, but you can even just add the actual herb, the fresh plant, to your salad. If you have a good handful every day and you continue for a month already, that is an incredible strong way of detoxing your body from heavy metals. Yeah, so this is about nutrition. Have we forgotten anything? Anything?
I don't know.
I think we had the whole food.
I hope
we had
so.
all the supplements.
If not, we'll have to come back and
make another really lengthy video with a lot of information. Oh yeah, about all this lot of information. We will put as many explanation and links down below this video, and also the links to the other videos that we made on how Peter took care of his skin and his mouth, like mentioned before. So I hope this information helped you. And Peter, thank you for sharing your experiences.
Wow, thank you for helping me be in a position where just 4 weeks out of radiation I can share these wonderful experiences.
Oh, yes.
Because these products really made it a lot easier to get through the radiation, both physically and mentally. Because if you're feeling good, if you can do some of the same things you did before. Luckily I was retired, I didn't have to go to work, but if you can even, I probably could have gone to work if I had a job with these types of supplements and types of food source, and it's just amazing. And the only thing I can't stress more than just try it. If you don't like any of these things, stop it. But, you know,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, it helped me. Hopefully it will help you. Thanks for listening.
Yes.
If you have any questions, you can contact me, contact Wieteke, and thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, and I hope you find yourself in a really good position. And if you're in a worse position, well, that maybe anything that we just said may help you on your way.
Yes.
And so, yes, I'm going to round it up.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. I am a Design for Awareness, and so are you. I thank you deeply for watching this video, and if you like it, please share with your friends, because it's thanks to the sharing of our experiences that we can all expand our awareness together. I wish you so much health, so much balance, and so much love. Namaste.
Bye-bye.
Bye.